Hello, 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 and welcome back to the stream. My name is Craig Fisher, and I am an avid aviation buff, but I have almost no experience actually flying an airplane. However, I have been using Microsoft Flight Simulator since FSX back in 2010, and I've learned most of everything I know from that. That being said, I have flown a few planes myself, in the right seat, of course, with a friend of mine who is an air traffic controller and a pilot. So that was a great experience for me, just sort of to take the experiences and the learnings I've had in Microsoft Flight Simulator and apply them in the real world to see if there's relevance there. And if I can say so myself, I believe there is some relevance. Specifically, I understood what I was looking at on the dashboard. What are the six instruments right dead center in front of you, right above your yoke? Those things, I knew what they were. I knew what each one of them did. I understood the information that it was giving me. So if you look at it from that perspective, flight simming can actually be of great value to people who are interested in understanding how to fly and what goes on inside the cockpit of a plane. So if you're just checking this out because and you've never done this before, it might be worth your while to check it out, see what it looks like, and give it a try. We are sitting currently with a flight plan loaded and ready to go from Edmonton International Airport in Alberta, Canada. If you're looking at this from anywhere else in the world, you may not know where that is. And we are flying to Kelowna, British Columbia. I'm based out of Alberta myself. I have lots of family in British Columbia. Kelowna is the place where you go to get in there, and Edmonton and Calgary are kind of the two major centers where you're going to leave from Alberta to get there if you want to fly. Lots of tiny little airports all over Alberta and British Columbia, but of course, why would you fly out of a small airport in a TBM-930 of all things, when you can fly out of an international airport with lots of runway, lots of taxiways, and everything else. So this is my second time streaming ever. The last time I don't think I said anything. I don't plan on saying too much anyways. It's not really my thing, I don't think. But that being said, you never know. I'm talking right now, and it seems to be okay. I don't have a script. Maybe that's what I'm missing, is a script. Yeah. Maybe that's what I should do for my next one. Have a plan. Well, I kind of have a plan. I mean, I have a flight loaded. So yeah, I don't. Yeah, maybe. Hello, son. I see you chatted with me. Can you actually hear me talking? I think you must be able to hear me while I'm talking. Anyway, I have my video turned off, Tyler. Not because I want to, but just because it was being weird, I think. So, anyways, now I have two people watching. Fantastic. All right. Okay. Let me have a look and see where we're going really quickly here. I just need to go back because ATC gave me some instructions and I didn't write any of them down yet. Taxiway B to runway 20. You know what's different about FS 2020 that I don't like, that was included with FSX 2010, is progressive taxi. So in 2010, you could turn on progressive taxi and it would draw a dotted line on the ground for you to follow if you're unfamiliar with the airport, so to speak. I'm not unfamiliar with this airport, from the fact that I have been here and I've flown out of here, but I am unfamiliar with this airport as a pilot. So when it gives me instructions like taxiway B, I'm not exactly sure where that is. I think it's one of the main ones. If we go over to the MFD here and we have a quick look, let's do this actually. Oops, wrong one. I think it's going to be either this one or this one, are the two big taxiways. One of them is A, one of them is B. I'm pretty sure because I'm going to 20 that this is actually taxiway. I'm sorry, this is taxiway B over here because here's 12 and 20 is the opposite end of that one. Right? Yeah. So, no, that's incorrect. 20 is right here. So I think we're going to just fly out of 20. And Tyler, you're probably laughing at me right now, I'm sure. This is the one thing about reality is it's easier in real life than it is simulating because you actually know where you are in the real world, which is good. Okay, so let me just have a quick look here. Going to taxiway 12,000 feet. Yeah, me neither. And you work there, son. So take off runway 20, climb and maintain 12,000. Okay, so we can go over here to our altitude selector and we can crank this bad boy up to 12,000. This takes forever. When you use the wheel for some reason. There's 12,000. I always turn on yaw damper on the ground. I turn on nav on the ground. I turn on flight director on the ground. The other thing that I do as good practice is I turn my heading bug around so that it's facing in the direction of in which I'm leaving. So, for instance, right now we're leaving from runway 20, so we'll go around to 200. I don't actually know what the bearing is of this. It could be 201 or 202, but I always put the heading bug there, and that way, if I want to follow the runway heading out, which I believe they said runway heading for a while, take off runway 20, climb and maintain 12,000, squawk 4411, which we've already turned all of our radios for. So that way I can just put it on heading because nav is actually going to pretty much immediately turn as soon as we take off and try and get back onto our line. So I usually fly the heading bug until I am established a little bit above and beyond the airport, and then I'll flip over to nav so that it will then redirect the airplane around and get my line away from the airport and away from the big traffic area that exists inside the airport space. Okay, so that's done. So I pushed back the wrong direction. I think we are going to, let me just have a quick boo here. Something else. Yeah, no, I'm right. 20 is the other end of my, I'm actually going to fly nav. I am actually going to fly a nav out, not heading bug, because I can. So one big problem, and for those of you who are watching just because you care, maybe you don't, you can't turn on the autopilot in this thing unless the power is on for it. And by default in the checklist, it does turn it on, but the last couple times I've flown, I've noticed that it wasn't turned on, and it's not turned on again for some reason. So let's go up here and have a look. Right over here, we got AP and trim. This is currently set to off. And so if I try and turn AP on, it's actually not going to work. So I got to flip that up to AP off and then turn that all the way to on. So now when I want to use the autopilot, I can actually do that, which is good because that can be frustrating when you're trying to control an airplane as you're flying out of an airport. Okay, I think we are good. Let's just look down here. Let's turn off our brake. And we've got heat on. We don't have any ice anymore, which is good. Let's get the engines rolling a little bit here. And let's see where we can go. Sir, I'm going to cut you into pieces. This is, again, the problem with not being in reality. And I don't have a track IR set either, which would be very cool if I did. Merry Christmas to me from my family. Anyway, yeah, so we're gonna just taxi down here. I'm gonna just follow the apron around until I can get out onto taxiway B, which is, for those interested, is this long taxiway here in black. It'll take us all the way down to the end of runway 20.
RF6 6425, hold position, caution, other traffic.
Okay.
RF6 6425, continue taxi.
Alright, I will continue my taxi. Never mind.
RF6 6425, hold position, caution, other traffic.
What is he talking about?
RF6 6425, continue taxi.
There's no other traffic anywhere around here. That's silly. Alright, so speed limit. Whoop, there is a traffic right there in front.
RF6 6425, hold position, caution, other traffic.
I think this thing's maneuverable.
RF6 6425, continue taxi.
So the big thing about this game, and it makes me laugh every time. Oh shit! I just went onto the damn runway, which is the wrong taxiway. Yay me! All right, let's see. This is how you get distracted. You start doing things that make mistakes, and that's not good. That's how you get killed in an airport, folks. Flying an airplane. Now I'm on the grass. I'm sure it's fine. I put some off-road wheels on my plane before we took off, so it's fine. Don't worry about it. All right, so we're back on the taxiway. We can see that there's a dude sitting there, but I don't know what he is doing. So here's the thing about AI traffic in this game, and it was the same problem in the old game, unfortunately, in that, I'm just going to go over to the airplane again. The traffic in here is just dumb. And the air traffic control, although very good, don't get me wrong, in these airports that aren't part of the larger population of airports like New York, Chicago, LA, Las Vegas, those types of places, the air traffic control does a really terrible job. They truly do. It's an awful experience. So they'll park a plane like that guy. They'll just have him sit there, literally forever. He'll never move. It's very frustrating. And they'll tell you to hold. So the other night I was playing, and it told me to hold short, hold for other traffic, just like that. Guy sitting on the tarmac. He didn't move. I didn't move for 10 minutes. I just sat there waiting. He wasn't going anywhere. There was literally no other traffic anywhere around. But for whatever reason, this guy just sat there, and they told me to hold. So I went around him just like I did in this one. I didn't drive onto the runway last time, but I did go around him. The other thing that the old game had, FSX, which is unrealistic, of course, because that's not how things work in the real world, is it had basically cruise control for taxiing. I think, actually, you know what? It may not have been every plane. I think it was just some of the bigger ones, like the Boeings and Airbus planes. But yeah, there was a taxi speed limit, like there's a speed limit for taxiing, but there was like a cruise control. So that was very helpful, actually. Tyler, I see you're still watching, or at least I assume that's you anyways. How does the quality look, just out of curiosity? Excellent. I'm happy to hear that. Hello to the other person. If you're Erica, say hello in the chat. If it's anybody else, say hello in the chat anyway. At the very least, say hello. The entertainment value of this stream is extremely high right now. Tell your friends. Oh yeah, if anybody was wondering, this taxiway is long, like 12,000 feet long. Well, I have 2 viewers right now. One of them is my son, so that doesn't technically count because he's just doing some quality control for me. He does find me entertaining though, so that's good. "16 minutes into a live stream and not even off the ground yet. That's gotta be bad, right?" Oh well. It is what it is, as they say. I should have set the time of day to daytime instead of following the live time. Although I think it's probably dark outside by now. Well, maybe not. It's only 5:30, so it might not be dark outside. Tyler, is it dark outside yet? Or is it just like what shows in the game? Dusk. It's probably just dusk. I think my watch is telling me it's just dusk right now. Alright, we're getting close. Woohoo! Alright. I like to sing to myself when I'm taxiing, because what else are you going to do? Alright, we are at the hold short line coming up here in front of us. There it is. I'm just going to let this thing bounce a bit, and we will park her right here. And we will turn on the parking brake and clear the caution, the master warning. And let's get on to air traffic control and go to clearance. And we are going to tune tower on 118.3. And we're going to request takeoff clearance IFR.
Edmonton Tower RF6 6425 ready for runway 20 RF6
Cleared
6425.
for takeoff. Runway 20. Let's find out how we do, shall we? The old parking brake off before we gun her up. Alright, well, if you're paying attention, this is where things get real interesting. This is either going to go famously well, or it's going to be a complete show of hilariousness that is me trying to take off in a TBM-850, or 930, sorry. Alright, runway 20, we've got like 10,000 feet. I got lots of room. I'm going to get off the ground no problem, so that's good. Alright, we're watching our spins. Looks good. We're at about 3/4. I'm all over the damn runway again. I think there's this wind again tonight. Alright, full throttle. Flaps at 1. I am not going to crash, Tyler. Try and jinx me all you want, but it ain't going to happen, kid. Alright, pull back on the stick. We are well above our necessary flight. We got positive rate of climb. Autopilot is on. Oops. Flight level change. Alright, and we are flying our nav line, and we are going to do a flight level change to 12,000. I'm going to throttle back here a bit because I'm going to blow these engines up.
RF66425 contact Edmonton Center on 134.7.
Yes, I did, Tyler.
134.7 for RF6 6425. Edmonton Center RF6 6425. Visit 3,200 feet, climbing 12,000 feet.
RF6 6425 Edmonton Center. Continue to exit as planned. Altimeter tree 0.07.
Perfect. Okay, good. So we're cleared right through to 12,000 for the moment. And so if anybody's interested, Tyler, you're the only one watching. I think the other person is maybe Erica. I don't know. IPTID, this guy right here, that is not our airport. That's actually a waypoint in the sky, if you will. So it's kind of like a virtual place where you go. Yeah. So for whatever reason, though, here we are. There's our line. So we're going to get on that line. We'll see the purple line, magenta line here. That's where we're headed. We're like a rocket ship headed for 12,000 feet at about 2,350 feet a minute. Which you can see, why is that doing that to me again? So strangely, sometimes the nav flies right past its line. And what I end up having to do is I turn everything off, turn on nav, oops, and turn on autopilot, and then down here is my issue. My issue is that I'm not following the GPS as my navigation tool. That's what my issue is. Oops, see, wrong one again. This one here. So right down here, active navigation was set to VOR1, which would be like a DME dial-in or something like that. You have to have it on GPS. Or in some cases, and a lot of videos that I've watched, people are actually seeing FMS here, which is Flight Management System, which is this device down here. This guy. This is the Flight Management System. But for whatever reason, mine only ever shows GPS, not FMS. And I don't know why that is. I don't think it's relevant. I don't think it matters because the damn thing works regardless of the fact. So just about 10,000 feet, it's going to start. You see the pink line up the right side here. This tells me that we've reached a point where we're fast approaching our altitude, and it's going to, yeah, you can see the number is coming down. It's slowing our rate of climb to catch that 12,000 and not shoot past it by a lot. And the beautiful thing about flying instrument, of course, is that you can fly in weather like this.
RF66 425 climb and maintain flight level 240.
Climb and maintain flight level 240 RF 66425.
Oops. Okay. So when they ask you to do stuff like that, you kind of want to do it. So flight level 240 is 24,000 feet. So what we're going to do is, I keep picking the wrong.
Edmonton Center RF6 6425. Cancel IFR at this time.
What?
RF6 6425 IFR flight plan is canceled. Radar service terminated.
Well, that was
Call 1200.
I
Maintain
must have
VFR.
bumped the thing.
Frequency change approved.
So I'm still going up to 24,000.
Edmonton approach
And I will
RF6
resubmit my
6425 is
IFR
type
flight
Docker
plans.
TBM-9 4 miles southwest of Charlie Whiskey Lima tree 12,000
I must have
feet.
bumped the button when I was
Request
trying to
clearance to
reset
transition
this,
to
which is
Charlie
silly.
airspace.
RF6 6425 Edmonton approach.
And
Squawk
now that our
0467.
altimeter is set, we go flight level change.
Squawk
And now
0467
this thing
RF
will start
66425.
to accelerate.
RF 66425
It will put
radar contact 6
climb,
miles
I should
southwest
say,
of Charlie Whiskey, leaving
at the
tree
rate
12,200
it
feet.
can to
Cleared
reach
through the Charlie airspace.
my new number while maintaining the speed.
Cleared through the Charlie airspace, RF 66425.
So we are climbing now, and I'm going to just increase my airspeed to, say, 250 maybe.
RF 66425, contact Edmonton Center on 134.7.
Going to 134.7 RF 66425. Edmonton Center, RF 66425, 12,200 feet.
RF 66425 Edmonton Center. Continue as planned. Altimeter tree 0.08.
Edmonton Center, RF 66425, 11 miles northeast of Charlie Foxtrot, Charlie 7. Request ISR to Kelowna, ready to copy.
RF 66425 is cleared to Kelowna Airport as filed. Squawk 0467.
RF 66425, clear to Kelowna Airport as filed. Squawk 0467.
RF 66425, read back correct. Radar contact 12,500 feet. Altimeter tree 0.07, turn left, heading 195, proceed on course climb, and maintain flight level 220.
Turn left, heading 195, resume on navigation climb, and maintain flight level 220 RF 66425.
Thank you for the feedback, Tyler. I will go and do that. momentarily. Is ATC really very, very loud, or just a lot louder than is necessary? Because it's okay on my end.
RF6 6425, contact Edmonton Center on 134.3.
Going to 134.3 RF66425. Edmonton Center RF66425 is climbing through 15,400 feet for flight level 220.
RF6 6425, Edmonton Center, continue as planned. Altimeter tree 0.06.
All right. I'm just going to pause the sim for a second because apparently ATC is very loud. So let's do that, and then we'll hit the escape key, and we'll go to general, and we're going to go to sound, and I've already got it turned down a bit. Let's turn it down to about there. Let's see and see how that looks. Okay, back it up. Back in the sim. Let's see if my engine stalled this time. Last time I did that, the engine shut off for some reason. I don't know why. Nothing changes. Mixture, fuel flow, everything's fine, but for whatever reason, it shuts down the engine when I exit. That does not seem to be the case this time, which is good. All right, we're almost at 22,000 feet. Now she's telling me to go to 30,000 feet. Alrighty then.
Level 300 or
Off we go.
F66425.
30,000. Locked in at 30,000 like that. And let's see if we can do a flight level change this time and see if it'll actually go. It is so. Perfect. Great. So what speed do we have selected? 210. Let's see if we can get this thing up to 220. 230? 240. 240. It does not want to climb anymore. We'll leave it at 210 because we're maxing out our speed here at 230, which is not good. Not much to look at when there's this much cloud, which is no good. Ooh. There we go. So one thing they've done well in this new version of Flight Simulator is they've really improved the weather and the textures. Like, look at that leather upper. It's just so realistic looking. It's amazing, which is good. Oops, I have nobody in my plane right now. I have, actually that's not true. I have all of you on my plane right now, of which there are only 2 of you at the moment. We're going to Kelowna, by the way, so I hope you all like the Okanagan wines and perhaps the beach, although I would not necessarily think we're going to be on the beach because it's cold there. But can't be worse than where we're at now, I think. Hey? Okay, we're just going to understand we're capping out at our high end of our speed range here, so we're just going to slow our roll a little bit. All right, 26,000 feet above Earth. I'm looking for requests on where we should go next. I feel like someplace warm and sunny would be a good place, like Hawaii maybe. Or maybe we could go to Roatan in Honduras, or the Mayan Riviera, maybe somewhere warm, tropical, someplace we can dip our toes in a water and put our ass in the sand. Not a worry in the world, a cold beer in our hand. Life is good today. Life is good today. Yeah. If you can name that song, put it in the chat. And better yet, the artist. All right. Well, as much as this is thoroughly enjoyable for me, and I don't know how the rest of you are feeling about it because you're not talking to me anymore, there are hamburgers waiting for me to throw on the barbecue. So, what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to pause the simulator, which in the real world, that's not possible. You'd have to get cabin service. I'd have to order a hamburger to the cockpit. I'd have to unlock the door for my flight attendant to bring it to me. Regardless, now, because this is not real life, I can actually, pause the simulator and better slow this roll here. And I'm going to go get myself some food because it is time for me to have a beverage of some form or fashion. Maybe a beer, maybe something less beery and more liquory. So I'm going to pause the simulation, and right here in the sky, which I'm going to do as soon as we hit 30,000 feet, I'm going to pause it. So give me, like, it's almost, look at, we're at 20,000, 29,720, 30, 40, 50. We could count together. We could make this an educational moment. What comes after 29,900? And 30,000 is blinking, but I'm looking for you guys to give me some answers here. I'm trying to entertain you. I don't know if it's working or not. Are you entertained? Tell me in the chat. Are you entertained? Nobody guessed the song yet either, which is interesting. I know there's somebody out there who probably knows what song I was singing. Oh, there's the warning to let me know that we are A, overspeed, and B, we're A, overspeed, and B, we have reached our altitude. So, what are we looking at here? What is our issue? Is that, oops, shoot. Cabin altitude, oh, apparently we got to put some oxygen on. We are too high. So, I think what we'll do is we will ask for a cruising altitude decrease of 5,000 feet. And then we don't have...
Edmonton Center, RF6.
Technically, I'm already dying.
Request flight level 250.
Let's see what they say.
RF6 6425 descend and maintain
There we
flight
go.
level 250.
250 it is. Thank you very much, Mr. Co-Pilot,
Descend
Mr.
and maintain
Co-Pilot.
flight level 250 RF6 6425.
Flight level change. And that should bring us to about, oopsie, let's get this down a bit here so that we can not over throttle our airplane here. You know what, we're going to do VS change, and we're going to go decrease our vertical speed by that much. Goodbye, son. Enjoy your dinner. And yes, we made it all the way to 30,000 feet.
RF66425. Edmonton Center
All right.
RF66425. Visit flight level 290, descending flight level 250.
RF66425 Edmonton Center, continue
Good.
as planned.
Okay, so I'm going to pause the simulation here. I know we're not at our 2500, flight level 250 right now, but I'm going to pause anyways because it is time to go put some burgers on the Traeger. Do you know what a Traeger is, those who are watching? I'm sure you do. I'm sure some of you know exactly what that is. I'm going to go smoke some meat on my deck, and I'm going to eat that, and then I'm probably going to fire up the stream again after that. I think that would make sense. I mean, I could just leave the stream running with a pause simulator, but that's no fun for anybody. I mean, the stream would be huge, but what's the point? That'd be no fun. So I'm going to sign off, and if you subscribed today, I hope you did. Great. And you know, please feel free to click the bell, subscribe. You'll probably see a notification come back up for me again later when I decide to fire this bad boy back up again, and we can play together, and you can watch how badly I land this plane in Kelowna. The best part of this probably will be going over the mountains, which we're fast approaching, but with the cloud cover below us, there's not much to see, unfortunately. But we could fix it. We could go down to flight level, probably, I think 15,000 would be enough to cover. And if we did 15,000 feet, we would be a couple thousand feet above the tops of the mountains. Depending on how low the cloud cover is, we may not still be able to see them, but you know, we won't know until we try, I guess. So, all right, I'm gonna wait till we're at 25,000 feet, and then it's like 800 feet to go. And of course, now we're right in the middle of the weather, which is no fun whatsoever for nobody. But at least the red lights have stopped flashing at me. Everybody's happy again. We're at a speed that is reasonable. But now we're going to fly blind for a while. And that's fine. Flying blind's fine. All right, we're going to level out here right at 25,000 feet. Right in the middle of the clouds, which is crappy. All right. All right, there we are, 25,000 feet above the ground, just cruising along. All right, simulation. Let's pause this bad boy. So we just move the mouse till we get this little triangle up here that pops up, and then we've got our little menu bar on the top. A lot of people, you can turn all these things off, or some of them anyways. Go over here and you can just turn off the ones you don't need or don't use. Yeah, I leave them all on because what's the point? I mean, who cares? But we'll go over here. We'll pause the simulation like that. Now it's active pause, so that means that we're just hung in air. You can see the airplane's kind of moving a little bit. It's kind of jiggling around, but we're not going anywhere anymore. There's no more forward momentum. There's no up. There's no down. We're just paused. I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to terminate the stream. Have some dinner. Please subscribe. Please click the bell so you get notified when I fire this bad boy back up again, and then we can travel together to Kelowna. You guys can laugh and watch me try and land this thing, and hopefully we'll have a conversation. Talk to you later. Bye.